Hello, my name is James and today I'm going to take you through a cross-curricular physical education lesson. So who are we aiming this at? Well, it would primarily be an early introduction for lower key stage 2, either in year 3 or 4, to the concepts of light and sound outlined as key topics in the primary curriculum. This is designed as a fun science-based lesson to get the children out of the classroom and interacting with their peers. Delivering science through physical education is the perfect match, as Rowley and Cooper 2009 states that learning in a cross-curricular way can provide opportunities for breadth and scope that may not be possible through subject-based lessons. A good example of which would be learning about the water cycle through outdoor and adventurous activities. There are huge benefits from using sport as a vehicle to deliver lessons, especially in early years and primary education. David 2001 points out that children learn through play and experience. Sometimes in large classes, some children can get lost. PE is very inclusive, and in that everyone has a chance to take part. Furthermore, the better movers thinkers approach, as coined by Dalziel et al. 2015, confirms a positive relationship between physical activity and academic achievement. Here we can see the component parts of BMT that come together to generate performance, physical literacy, personal qualities, and thinking skills. Secondly, we can see the process they suggest that needs to happen for pupils to become physically literate, a large part of which is in the cognitive domain. Giles et al. Also found that interceptive timing skills predicted achievement in mathematics and ability in pupils. Those performing well in throwing and catching, achieving good grades in mathematics, and as you can see from the positive correlations from their results. The average class size in England and Wales is 27.1 children in Key Stage 2. Stats from the Department of Education 2018. And so managing the classroom quickly and efficiently is often challenging. For this lesson, the teacher should approach from a direct instructional perspective, unless supported heavily by teaching assistants. This enables the teacher to maintain a level of control much needed to ensure that learning is taking place during a lesson such as this, where the main constraint is learning is time and the age of the children. With this approach, the teacher can also keep a degree of flexibility through opening up certain exercises to be peer-led or inquiry-based. The approach is more beneficial than rigidly sticking to one instructional model, as you can tailor your lessons to suit your audience. However, in an ideal world, the pupil to adult ratio would be low, enabling the teacher to take a more inquiry-led approach, especially effective with regard to teaching science through physical education. Tillotson 1970 identified the step-by-step process the students must go through in order to solve problems posed by the teachers. So if the class size allowed it, the pupils would benefit more from the added freedom to critically analyse and problem solve. Fostering creativity through innovation, being able to make choices and keeping learning relevant to the children is a key component of teaching, Jeffrey Woods 2003. The development of these skills from the children is essential part of scientific method as per the national curriculum, as it focuses more on cognitive learning over psychomotor learning. That's the 2011. Pupils in years 3 and 4 should be given a range of scientific experiences to enable them to raise their own questions about the world around them. They should start to make their own decisions about the most appropriate type of scientific inquiry they might use to answer questions. So linking into 3 separate parts of the national curriculum at Key Stage 2 Science, the lesson covers light and sound at a very basic level, plus reinforces and enhances knowledge that we've learned previously about the senses in Key Stage 1. Discussions during the activity among their peers should enable most children to find that they need to see that in order to see things, that dark is the absence of light, as stated in the national curriculum. Further exploration of these topics can be completed in the classroom in later lessons. As the pupils arise from getting changed, the teacher will reinforce the school behaviour rules as the lesson is time sensitive and disruption should be kept to a minimum. Bibs should be handed out as the teacher explains the brief outline of the learning objectives, with further instructions being given by teaching assistants on each activity. The activity area needs to split into 4 quarters, with pupils split evenly in a circuit format. Each activity should take 10 to 12 minutes, and when completed, they move on to the next one until they reach the activity they started with. At this point, a plenary will be conducted to check understanding of the learning objectives. The first activity is based around sight and is the most inquiry-led exercise of the lesson. Children are given the problem that they have to maneuver their blindfolded partner at walking pace without physically touching them. The teacher will then look to prompt and encourage reasoning where necessary. If they do it successfully the first time, they must find another way to communicate to the partners after swapping over. Next up is a slightly more technically intense exercise based around the sense of smell. Pupils must grab a ball laced with fish sauce, perfume, or a fruit-based cleaner and roll it through a coned-off middle section representing the epithelial membrane. A second team will grab the balls and place them in the corresponding buckets. Equally, as teacher-led to start off with, is the circuit station based around hearing. In this, the pupils wear earplugs to minimize hearing and have to mimic travel methods demonstrated by the teacher. However, this activity can be progressed from teacher-led to more pupil-led exercise. If the pupils show attitude and time permitting, the teacher would nominate a pupil that others have to mimic. The crazier movements, the better. Lastly, we have a direct instruction-led exercise based around touch. Pupils split into pairs, take turns being blindfolded, while the other runs and gathers an object from one of the boxes. They need to correctly analyze the object, and once they get all 4 correct, they can swap over. Each activity finishes with a 2-minute mini plenary to check understanding, ask key questions, and especially in light of slightly more challenging comprehensive activities such as the one looking at smell. At the end of the session, a full 10-minute plenary should be conducted that is pupil-led through set-up questions offered by the teacher. Examples would be, how do we smell? Or, can anyone explain the best method for guiding their blind friend? Learning should be checked and the lesson evaluated, which should inform further science lessons into light and sound when they delve deeper into topics such as vibrations and refraction. Thank you for listening.